Hello everyone. Now we are going to discuss about the sexual life cycle of Plasmodium in the female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito is a secondary host for the Plasmodium particularly. In the female Anopheles mosquito, Plasmodium is undergoing the sexual life cycle. Why we are calling it as a sexual life cycle? Because here the male and female gametes are formed and male and female gametes are fused and then they are giving rise to sporozoites. All these events takes place particularly in this Plasmodium life cycle here, hence we are calling it as what? Hence we are calling it as a sexual life cycle. And here regarding the sexual life cycle particularly, sexual life cycle mainly takes place by the 4 steps here. The 4 steps mainly consisting of what? Gametogony, fertilization, formation of ukinite and oocyst. Last stage will be sporogony. By these 4 steps mainly, what is happening here actually? Here the sexual life cycle of the Plasmodium takes place in the female Anopheles mosquito. Here, first of all, how this male gametocyte, female gametocyte enters into the female Anopheles mosquito. Here, what is happening here? From a malaria patient, whenever the female Anopheles mosquito bites the malaria patient actually, from the malaria patient what is happening? The male gametocyte and female gametocyte will enter into what? Will enter into the female Anopheles mosquito. Whenever they are entering into the female Anopheles mosquito, in the female Anopheles mosquito, the life cycle will be continued here. In the first step, what is happening? Gametogony we are calling. What is gametogony? The formation of what? The formation of the male gamete and female gametes we are calling as what? Formation of the male gamete and female gamete, particularly from the male gametocytes and female gametocytes we are calling as what? Gametogony here. Now what is happening here actually? The starting stages. Here how they got actually? In the form of the male gametocyte and female gametocyte we got here. First of all, what is happening? Male gametocyte which we had actually, it is turning into the 8 flagellated structures. Particularly the male gametocyte here. That is the flagellation we are saying. Next, exflagellation we are saying. Exflagellation, it means what actually? From the 8 flagellated structures, 1 flagellated male gamete structure will goes off here. That is the exflagellation we are calling. And in the female gametocyte, what is happening? Female gametocyte undergoes the maturation and forms a female gamete. Here the female gamete and male gamete both are fusing in the fertilization phenomena. What is second step? What is fertilization? Fertilization is the phenomena of fusion of the male and female gamete. Here male gamete we got here by the exflagellation. Male gamete we got here by what? Here by the exflagellation. And female gamete we got by the maturation we got the female gamete, and female gamete always consisting of what? Fertilization cone. And the fertilization which takes place particularly in the mosquitoes we are calling as anisogamous. Fertilization. Why we are calling it as anisogamous fertilization? Anisogamous fertilization because male gamete and female gamete are not similar in the structure. The fusion between the dissimilar male and female gametes we are calling as what? Anisogamous condition. That takes place here. Then after that thing, what is happening? After fertilization, what we are getting here? Zygote we are getting here, right? And this zygote which we are actually after 18 to 24 hours, the zygote will be as it is without any changes here. After 18 to 24 hours, what will happen? The zygote will be changing into the vermiform. This form we are calling as a vermiform ukinite here. Formation of ukinite and oocyst is the third stage we are saying particularly. Here, what is happening particularly here actually? Now, here ukinite which we had actually, ukinite by acquiring the cyst wall. What is happening? It forms a oocyst. Now, oocyst is consisting of what? Single nucleus. The next step, what is happening actually? The oocyst which is there actually, the nucleus in the oocyst divides continuously and forms a mini nuclei. Here. And after the formation of the mini nuclei, what is happening? The nuclei which we are getting in this step, this nucleus will acquire the cytoplasm. Small bit of the cytoplasm, and forms the sporoblasts here. That means inside the sporocyst, what is happening? The formation of the sporoblast will take place here by acquiring the cytoplasm. The next step, what is happening? Sporocyst we are saying. What is a sporocyst? The complete structure which is consisting of a sickle-shaped sporozoids in them. We are calling as what? We are calling as a sporocyst here particularly. Now, After the sporocyst, what is happening? Whenever the sporocyst wall ruptures, the sporozoites will be liberated outside. Nearly 10,000 sporozoites are formed in the sporocyst particularly. They are liberated outside. And oocyst, if you are taking 50 to 500 oocysts are formed in the what actually in the particular in this developmental stages here. And oocyst stage is discovered by the Sir Ronald Rose. And Bano is a BANO. Bano is a scientist. He said that actually nucleus has been developed into the sporoblast particularly here. This is about the life cycle in the mosquito, female Anopheles mosquito. And remember the point particularly here. In the female Anopheles mosquito, the complete life cycle, the complete development takes place in the crop wall of the mosquito. In the mosquito digestive system, crop is present in the place of the stomach. In the crop wall, what is happening? The complete development of these stages will take place. Lastly, the sporozoites which are released from the sporocyst here, they enter into the salivary glands of the mosquito. Whenever this female Anopheles mosquito in which the sporozoites are present, whenever they bites a new person, again what will happen actually? The saliva which is consisting of sporozoites, that saliva of the mosquito enters into the new host or new human being. Again the sporozoite is entering into the hepatic schizogony, that means into the liver cells, and there again the asexual life cycle takes place in the human being here. This is about the sexual life cycle which takes place particularly in the female Anopheles mosquito. The sexual life cycle always takes place 18 to 24 days here. For the completion of the sexual life cycle, but for the formation of the sporozoites particularly from this male and female gametes, we require nearly 8 to 24 days here. This is about the sexual life cycle. And regarding the pathogenicity of the mosquito particularly, pathogenicity of the Plasmodium, that means malaria particularly, what symptoms we are developing here? Cold symptoms we had, hot symptoms we had, and sweat. Cold symptoms, it means what? Getting of the chills, right? Getting of the chills, we are getting chills and dizziness, we are calling as a cold stage. Hot stage, it means what? High fever. The malaria, this is only what we are getting. Chills are followed by the high fever here. That is the hot stage we are getting. Sweating stage, it means what actually in the malaria condition, the disease condition, what is happening actually? The patient is getting the sweats more here. More sweat we are getting, that is the sweat stage we are getting. This is the pathogenicity we are saying. And how we can identify that actually malaria parasite here? By the blood test particularly. In the blood, as it is an intracellular parasite here, in the blood we can see the malaria parasite. That means Plasmodium parasite we are seeing here. Now, relapse of the malaria we are calling. Relapse of the malaria, it means what actually the merozoites which we are developed here particularly before the male gametocyte, female gametocyte stage we are calling as a merozoites here. The merozoites in the dormant stage, they develop into hypnozoites. Hypnozoites which are present in the human being, they are as it is in an inactive form. Whenever they are again becomes active, they attack the RBC cells again, they again forms the malaria. Again they are responsible for the causation of the malaria disease in the human being. That is a relapse of the malaria we are saying here. And then if you are discussing about the prophylaxis, how we can prevent the malaria disease here. How we can prevent the malaria disease? First, what we have to do, if the mosquitoes are not there, female Anopheles mosquitoes are not there, then spreading of the malaria will not take place. How we can avoid the female Anopheles mosquito actually? By spraying the DDT, dichloro, diphenyl, trichloroethane, and then by spraying the BHC, benzene hexachloride, and then by spraying in the areas where the mosquitoes are there, we can avoid the mosquitoes. And then whenever the stagnant water is present, whenever there is a chance of development of the larvae of the mosquito, Gambusia fishes we are releasing in the particular stagnant water, and kerosene we are using in the stagnant water, and kerosene is not allowing the larvae to develop, and pyrethrum oil also we are using, which actually inhibits the larva development here. And then mosquito repellent creams, mosquito mats we are using to avoid the mosquitoes here. These are the prophylaxis. What is the treatment of the particularly malaria? Quinine drug which is extracted from the Cinchona officinalis is used for the treatment of the malaria disease here. This is about the complete Plasmodium sexual life cycle and about the prophylaxis, pathogenicity and treatment of the particular Plasmodium here.